Now, it's been 1 month since Donald Trump's return to the White House. He kicked off his second term by announcing a raft of tariffs on imports from trading partners. Neighbors Mexico and Canada face levies of 25%, which were suspended for a month after they agreed to beef up border security. China was next in the firing line, with an additional 10% tariff starting February 4th. Beijing responded by slapping levies on some U.S. imports. Trump then announced a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum, scheduled to take effect on March 12th. A national survey by the Marquette Law School poll between January 2nd and February 5th shows most Americans have doubts about tariffs being effective. The survey that polled more than 1,000 adults shows 46% think tariffs will hurt the U.S. economy, while 24% believe they will help. About 13% say tariffs won't have much effect, and 17% are uncertain. Trump's trade policy is already starting to hit small businesses in the U.S., including supermarkets and hardware stores. NHK World's Kikuyama Kengo has the story.
I agree with not everything Trump's doing right now, make no mistake about that, though I did vote for him. But I agree with the tariffs that fair is fair.
I don't think anybody's going to win on this issue here. I wish we were not going to do it.
Opinions may be divided on the president's policies, but they are forcing up prices on Main Street, USA. This is a supermarket in New York City's Chinatown. Products imported from China among popular items. Store manager Wu Jianxi has worked here for about 10 years. He says the new duty on Chinese imports has raised the levy on food products to 35% from 25%. His wholesalers sent him a letter saying prices for Chinese goods will increase by 10% starting March 1st. He is stocking up on non-perishable goods from China to try and slow the pace of passing on the cost to customers.
Normally, we wouldn't import this much stock. This is all for the tariffs, so we are storing 2 to 3 times more goods than usual.
He has also started to switch to Taiwan suppliers as the products are not subject to additional tariffs.
So I've heard many wholesalers are going to Taiwan to source products.
Other stores have started to raise prices. At this hardware store, staff were rapidly to replace price tags. This is in response to the government's change in tariff policies, and the store expects it will take about a few weeks to complete the process. Owner Sarah Patkin says about 40% of the store's products are from China, and she had no choice but to raise prices by 10%. She said small businesses cannot just absorb the tariff costs and need to hike prices to pay employees.
I don't like raising prices, but it's a lot of responsibility to make sure that I can have everybody come to work and can keep people on staff.
She has another major concern: barbecue grills. They are one of the store's best seasonal sellers, but she worries that the planned 25% tariff on steel and aluminum will hit sales hard.
So, yes, tariffs can be helpful, but let's look at how we're doing it and let's make sure everybody's ready. We can't, if we just start charging more for a product that we in the U.S. can't make yet, it's not going to help.
Joseph Foudy, a professor in the Department of Economics at New York University, says the tariffs will harm smaller businesses more than large ones.
I think small businesses are the most vulnerable companies. They have the smallest profit margins, and they often have the least amount of money in the bank. They can't afford to maintain large inventories. So with tariffs, some large companies have started to stockpile products. These smaller companies can't afford to do that. It's just a terrible dilemma for small businesses, and they're really going to struggle. Their customers are often the ones who are very sensitive and the first to kind of notice price increases.
Foudy says History shows that tariffs like Trump has imposed eventually hurt the industries that rely on them. He says tariffs insulate companies and so they lose focus on productivity and become less competitive over time. Kikuyama Kengo, NHK World, New York.